Juicers, let's talk about making your site ready for the mobile page or for mobile phones. Sorry, I'm looking at the pages. I'm going to go back to the home page. A Wix website is going to load and act and behave differently, slightly differently on your desktop, and as someone is looking at it from a desktop to a mobile website that they would view on their iPad or their smartphone. So you have to look at both. Now, the number one thing is that you don't want to even bother with your mobile version until you are really completely satisfied with how your desktop version looks, because otherwise you're just going to be going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth on it, changing things and adjusting things. So let's assume that this is exactly how we want our food stylist website to look. You're going to go up into this area up here where your tools are, and it says here, you're going to hover over the smartphone looking icon. It says switch editor views. So I'm going to click that, and it's giving me the option. Right now I'm editing the desktop view. Now I'm going to edit the mobile view. So I'm going to click that button here. I should also note that it did say that I included there's an option that says make it mobile friendly on there, and I forget, yeah, right here. And that's checked. You want to make sure that that's checked. So here we are. Now they're showing us on a little phone here, and it looks, there's some, obviously it's going to be familiar to you because we've got our anchors, we have our background image, we have our content box, and the button that I added. All of the aspects that were on the original website are here. They're just shifted around in a format that is easy to view with a smartphone or an iPad. One thing you want to note, and that is that everything is going to go vertical instead of horizontal, so things are vertical instead of horizontal. And sometimes your videos, if you have a video on your first strip, that may not show as a on your mobile version because it just may be too big. What they're going to do with the mobile version is try to make it really compact and small from a digital download perspective so that they can get loaded up to phones. So the idea of this is to make it really compact from a visual standpoint and also from a digital standpoint where it's going to be pulling data from everybody's phone and loading up quickly. Anyway, so you can see here's our header. Our header is still here. We've got the text here. The menu has changed to a mobile menu. So you can click this actually and change the design of that if you want, or the settings of that. Let's see if we want to freeze it, if we want to change the design. I think it's just giving some options for other mobile design looking options. We're just going to leave it the way it is. Okay. Then we're going to go and just take a look at it through here. The anchor is fine. You still want that set there. This is fine for the image. It's not ideal because we're missing some of the content, but don't worry as much about that on your mobile view. You're really trying to get them to the most important information first. So especially if you have some extra content that you included on your strips on your home page or on your desktop version, you may not really need that here and really consider editing a lot of that out. I'm going to go ahead so you can't actually delete things. So let's say this button is humongous compared to what it looked like in the desktop version. And I can make it smaller. So it just looks a little bit more beautiful. Or let's say that button is kind of a useless, not a critical button, let's say. Let's say it's somewhere else. You can actually hide that element. So it just won't be on there. And we're going to go and it's going to be now in the hidden elements. This does not mean anything that you do on your mobile version will not change your desktop version. So that should be a relief to know. And then we're just going to go through here. Let's say that this text you want to look bigger now that it's been adjusted. You can scale it up. One thing that you can't do that will change what looks like on your desktop version, you can't change what this says. All the content needs to be basically the same. You can just adjust your sizing and the layout ever so slightly, or you can choose to hide it. So I'm just going to page down here. We've got our link here. This works great. Again, these templates are designed to convert from desktop to mobile very fluidly. So that's another benefit of using their template and just adjusting what they've done on their template. And then here we are at the footer, and we're still at the footer, and everything's looking really great. So we like how that looks. You're going to save it, and then you're going to go to the next page and do the same thing with the next page. And just remember, this is to help your users, your future clients, for people who are visiting your website, get to the most important information that they need. Sometimes by doing the mobile version, you start realizing, I probably have more information than I really need on my desktop version. You might go back in and change it. It's part of the process, and it's a good part of the process, I think, to help you edit down what do people really, really need to know, and what do they need, what do they not really need to know. So you're just going to save. If you want to go back, you can switch the editor views. Something I didn't show earlier is that as you're designing, these can be a little bit visually distracting, right? Because you're looking at all your boxes and your content. You can take a look at it with the preview mode and see it just as someone else might see it. So it doesn't have any of those internal functions. And oops, I can see that I changed that, but it's not consistent now with that, so I would go back down. I usually don't see that stuff until I look at it in preview, or until I publish it and someone else tells me that I've screwed that up. So then you go back to editor, and you can change items just as you wish. Here is a page layout customizer if you want to change, if you want to optimize. This is probably already optimized. Oh, interesting. So they made her face a little bit bigger and changed the text here. I think that's worth looking at, and that's really big. I wonder why they did that. Okay, so you can change that back as you wish. These, again, are your hidden elements. This is the mobile view, the back to top button, and the mobile action bar. I think that's at the bottom. And then this is if you feel that you need to change the background. You can change the background for the mobile only. That might help focus some attention on the user experience and again, condensing that. So just a quick view on how to get yourself mobile friendly. And as you can see, it's fairly easy. It's just the next step in the process of your great website-ness. See you soon.